Welcome. You have made it to the right place. This is where we revolutionize your marketing with this your Revolutionize Your Marketing show, sponsored by Mill City Marketing MA and hosted by our friend and expert, John Petro Sr. So we're going to bring John in here. He created this marketing show because we were helping a nonprofit do some marketing, and our project with the nonprofit ended. And I told John, well, instead of just taking your marketing expertise and we're at an end here. Why don't we make it a new beginnings? And so I think John says we're here a year and a half later and still doing these shows, still attracting absolutely fantastic guests. And so, John, come on in here. Any more introduction of yourself you'd like to provide and of the show, and then introduce your guest. That's the trifecta. Yourself, the
Well,
show, and the guest. It doesn't get any better.
thank you, Yosemite. Correct.
Right. Got got to give new twists and turns. We are in the entertainment business after all, right?
That's true. That's true. Welcome, folks, and welcome to Revolutionize Your Marketing. And I do have a special guest with me tonight. But before we bring her in, do kind of a pre-introduction as to what both of us are involved with. There is a book that is now available on Amazon. It is called Built with Purpose. I will show you the cover here in 1 minute. Um, if you or anyone you know has a business, this is an excellent book to get. Built with Purpose. On the cover, you see so many pictures. Some of that is some of the 42 authors in that book. And what it is we all have a chapter in the book. I am one of them. It has been in 3 days, went to number one in two categories. So we are actually considered um, uh, featured authors in a best-selling book now. And with me is one of those authors today, Terisse Walker. Come on in, Terisse.
Thank you very much, John and Kurt, for having me.
Our pleasure.
Yes,
So why don't we
indeed.
start off letting people know where you're from and how you got into what you're doing.
Okay, well, I'm a California girl, born and raised, lived mostly in either LA County or Northern California. I was in the northern part for 36 years, more than half my life. So that's why I have the Golden Gate. I hope to get back there one day. Currently, I'm in Riverside County in a little town called Menifee. And the book, Built on Purpose or Built with Purpose, actually is my story of how I began my career recently.
And like the other 40, 40 people besides me and you, we got to get Kurt in that book too. Kurt's got an amazing story. I'll talk to you after, Kurt, about the upcoming issues. It is the first book in a series. And Therese, I hope you get into one of those other books.
Yes, I thank you
There
very
is
much.
there is one for women entrepreneurs. There's one for veterans with businesses. That's one you can get involved with, Kurt. And spread the word about that one. Um, there's one for
Reinventing.
uh, thank you, reinvented entrepreneurs. And I just found out the other day two other ones that they've now got. One is pet business owners and entrepreneurs with RVs. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more coming down the road. They're looking for authors for those 5 books right now, folks. Um, so if you're interested, simply go to businesswithpurpose.org and you'll find the tabs in there for those other books if you're interested in getting into a book. Teresse, I believe this is your first book, correct?
Yes. Yes, it
You're
is.
in you're in same shoes as me, girl.
And it was fun.
It was. It was really fun. I'm waiting for my books to come in any day now. Um, so how did it feel to you to actually have your first book come out?
Well, it was an honor to share my story. And I felt very rewarded. And I've gotten so much wonderful feedback from my communities in Facebook, LinkedIn, Alignable. And I've even been getting text messages from friends. So it makes me feel good. In fact, one friend said, I knew your story was powerful, but you had a very well-written chapter. And your meeting was purposefully said. And it made me feel good. Thank you.
Yeah, I haven't spread it out to any of my contacts yet. I've just been putting it out on my groups on Alignable.
Okay.
Um, my own brothers and sisters don't even know about it yet.
Oh my.
Um, I've just been busy with other things.
I guess.
Um, but yeah, it was interesting for me.
Mhm.
And when I sent in my story and I got the edited version back, I'm reading it and I'm saying, wow, this is not what I sent in.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Uh, did you find a big change in your story?
No,
Mine was upgraded quite a bit. But then again, when
I
you're
hope you like the
trying
end
to,
product.
I did, I
Okay.
did.
That's all that
Um,
matters, right?
I did briefly read through yours because I did get the e-edition,
Mhm.
uh, which was the opening promotion, folks, that they did. They also have an e-edition on Kindle, and that was available for, came out the 26th, I believe it was. They posted that, and it was free on Kindle, the e-edition, until midnight on the 1st.
Mhm.
Um, now I believe it's around $10, I think it is.
On Kindle, I think it's 2.99, and on
It's
if you've got a
2.99.
paperback is I think it's under 20.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
17 something, I think.
Yeah.
I just had
Still well worth it.
convers
40
I just had a
authors.
conversation with somebody today that I mentioned to the other day, when I first met him, and he told me today he already ordered it.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, knowing at least half of these 42 authors, I would say that there is quite a bit of knowledge and experiences that people will, um, I want to say coincide, that's not the word I'm looking for. That
Collaborate.
will, that they will agree with, that is
Mhm.
the same things that they're going through.
Mhm.
Would you agree with that?
I agree. And I had the pleasure of meeting the publisher and Sue Brooks on Wednesday for dinner. They were
Oh,
up here in town.
good for you. I'm dying to meet Sue. I've talked with her many times. I even have her cell phone number. Uh, she's actually the one that inspired me to become an ambassador.
Okay.
Uh, I tried to set something up when they were up here in New Hampshire, for the annual meeting,
Hmm.
um, back in October of 24. Yeah, and it did work out. So she's the one that inspired me. Well, why don't you put in to become an ambassador? I did. Alignable turned me down at first
Nice.
until I mentioned it to Chuck. But yeah, I'm excited to actually open the box and actually hold the books in my hand.
Yeah. They brought a book. I got to hold it on Wednesday, but mine's coming in tomorrow. So I ordered one.
I
So
ordered, I ordered 20 of them to start
Awesome.
with. I mean, I do in person, so
Mhm.
they're coming with me later this month when I do my in-person networking. Unfortunately, unless they come in over the weekend, I have the Boston Alliance in person that I go to, and that's
Mhm.
Tuesday morning. If I have them in by then, great.
Right. Yeah.
And Chuck wants to get a hold of me, and both of us do a book signing up here.
Oh, Chuck's up there? Okay.
Chuck lives up here in Massachusetts,
I
about
didn't know
40
that. Okay.
minutes away from me.
Oh, wow. All righty.
That's why all
Thank-
last year I was bugging the crap out of him to come up to my in-person.
Okay.
He's actually coming back again on my podcast next week.
Mm, nice.
Was a couple of weeks ago, one of his buddies from 20, he hasn't talked to in, I think, 20 years, he said, popped into his Wednesday event.
Wow.
And Chuck
Nice.
didn't know it, I don't think, at the time
Aw.
until he spotted him. And they booked my podcast next Friday night, the two
Oh,
of them.
cool. All right.
Chuck goes, let me know when he books. I want to come on with him. Okay.
Aw. Okay.
I had Chuck on a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the first person. Um, no, actually, there was one other person who came back a second time on my
Mm,
podcast.
okay.
So I'm looking forward to next week.
Yes, for sure.
Um, so what else do you want to say about the book?
Well, I think it's a beautifully written portrayal of purpose and a very good read.
Yeah. I'm going to have to sit down and start going through all these students, get a little bit more background on these people that I know. Um, so what is it that you do?
Well, I spent almost 50 years in accounting, working for manufacturing in corporate America, up to controller, and did HR, did leadership sharing. And in 2016, my world changed. My first husband, we were married for 33 years, get together for 36 years. He hurt himself at work in February, but it wasn't until late April when we found out it wasn't a workers' comp injury. It was actually terminal cancer. And
Uh,
I found out 8 years later, excuse me, July of 23, that maybe could have prevented that if we'd had the right kind of life insurance. And so I was introduced to living benefits. And living benefits is where you can access death benefit in cash, a lump sum, if you had a terminal illness, Alzheimer's, dementia, critical injury, critical illness, and up 2% if you had a chronic illness. And that could have possibly changed the direction of my future and my family's future, my kids. Maybe we could have gotten dad to a place to get helped. But instead,
mm,
we unfortunately watched him slowly die, and he passed away 2 months and a week later.
mm,
And so that
mm,
when I was introduced, I said, oh my gosh, I have to share this to everybody. But it wasn't until last October when it really ingrained in my heart that I could be a lighthouse across the nation, sharing with other people, building entrepreneurs to share in their communities and their family and friends and change middle America. And so that's what I do now. I'm a life insurance rep. I'm a builder of people and a builder of teams nationwide with the right kind of life insurance when you don't have
mm.
to die to use.
And when you had told me that in our previous conversation,
Yeah.
that's why I asked you to come on the podcast to help you get that word out there.
I appreciate that, John, so
Um,
much.
this is
Um,
live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So it's out there on social media.
thank you.
Um, and you said this is your first podcast.
My very
I
first
hope it's your
podcast
first of many.
of many, I hope. Um, you don't know what to expect, so, I mean, I appreciate the time here and appreciate the sharing. And uh, we're given a purpose to live. And now I found my purpose. I'm using my husband's death to share stories across America. And maybe people can have a different life change where they don't have to suffer like we did when we lost our my husband and my kids' daddy. So,
Mm. Yeah, it's hard to lose a loved one.
mhm.
I've lost all four of my parents, my two and my wife's two. And along with that, my wife has lost two before birth on the same day, 9 years apart.
Oh, prayers for
Um,
you guys. Oh my word.
and it was, Chuck doesn't know this yet, but it was on his birthday too.
Oh my God. Mm,
So yeah, I already mentioned it to him, but I screwed up the date. Probably did it on purpose because we are going to schedule a session with him. And that's
yeah.
when he's going to find out about the date.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Um, but so yeah, I
well,
definitely
life throws us curveballs, doesn't it, John?
yep, it does.
Sometimes. It's
And
just how we deal with it.
I'm curious to get into a conversation with him about losing both of them on the same exact day.
I know.
That's very unusual.
It is.
The first one was part of a set of triplets. Um, we lost him the day before the other two were born.
Oh,
Uh, so yeah, that was rough. And the last one, I almost lost my wife in the process.
oh my goodness. Well,
Uh, so yeah, it's you
were they
never know
both
what life's
multiple
gonna
births
throw.
or just the first one was triplets and the other one was
Just the
this?
first one was triplets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm,
Um, so right now we're both buried along with my parents.
mm.
Um, and
I lost a daughter too.
luckily we did not have to pay a cent for either one of them. That was a gift from the undertakers.
Yeah.
I found out that usually when they're that young, they usually don't even charge anything. They do it out of their own expenses.
Yeah.
Um, but so getting back to what you do,
Hmm.
um, I ran across a question today
You did.
online. You're the first one I'm going to ask it to. I'm going to ask this to every person that comes on my podcast now because I love this question.
Okay.
If you had to build trust without using testimonials, credentials, or case studies, what proof would you offer instead?
I can't use a testimonial, so I can't use my story, right?
Yeah,
Wow. That's a tough question, John. Thank you. Um, I would say, I guess just by watching and observing the kind of person I am, the character I am, to develop the trust.
one of the comments on that question today was trustworthiness, proving to people that they can trust who you are and what you do. Um, well, that would fall under testimonial, case studies, but um, they said trust.
Right. That's an well, to build a business that I'm in, you have to build trust. Okay.
Yeah,
Um, and I've done that, unfortunately, with sharing a story, which is a testimony, basically. Okay. It draws
yeah,
people in. But to do it without sharing that story, I still have built trust with networking, developing relationships. It takes a little longer, because you have to
yeah.
meet more often. Okay, but you can build trust. Okay. I purposefully did that last year and grew my network over 500 members on Alignable. And actually, I grew my network in LinkedIn as well. And on Facebook, I have made some really, really good connections.
Yeah. That's like me. In 2.5 years, I'm at 2,600 connections on Alignable.
That's awesome.
Some of them, more or less, I've partnered up with
Hmm.
for referrals back and forth. And it also helps me when I get a marketing client. If they need help with something else besides marketing, with 26 connections, I guarantee I got people to connect them to.
True. Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of like making me a one-stop shop.
Right. I mean, then
Uh,
you have to work those connections. You just don't, you have to
yeah,
continually do something with that and move people around and, which a lot of people don't understand the world of networking.
yeah,
So
exactly. I mean, nowadays, you're not going to get out and get known without networking.
true.
Um, that's kind of like what the Chamber of Commerce will do,
Hmm.
but those vary in what they do and how they
True.
do it, depending on
Very
who the
much.
leader is.
Yes. And
Um,
you're, and it's a limited environment where because
yeah,
of 2020, now we use Zoom and meetups and it's a
yeah,
virtual, you could worldwide, you could do statewide, and just keep building, not just your own community, but elsewhere.
yeah. It's like the Chamber of Commerce around here. I tried to set something up when Sue was up here a year and a
Mm.
half ago. She had a free day. I was trying to set something up
Uh-huh.
to get her in front of the Chamber of Commerce
Right.
ahead of time. And it ended up not working out.
Mm.
But I connected up with a girl who works in an office around the corner from where I am. And her boss had set up their own local networking event at
Mm.
a breakfast place after we
Hmm.
closed. Well, breakfast and lunch place. He stayed open after lunch, so we could have
Mingle.
pizza
Hmm.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And they had a lady come in from one of the local banks. So the three of them, and they opened it up to all local businesses.
Mm.
They spread the word out, passed out flyers in the businesses and stuff. I'm the only one that showed up. Come to find out, her boss, who travels around the country, was also on the board of directors for the local chamber of commerce.
Oh.
And I told her what was going on and what my plans were, because the girl that runs the chamber up here does not respond to messages too well. Very rarely, actually. Um, and I told her what was going on. So she goes, well, yeah, Danielle usually listens to what I say. So she was asking me some questions. I was doing good answering the questions. And then she comes out and goes, well, I know what's in it for alignable. What's in it for the chamber? Uh, that's a good question. I have Sue's cell phone number. Let me give her a call. I called her. She answered on the second ring. I explained to her what was taking place, and she goes, let me talk to her. Her the boss and Sue talked on my phone for about 10 minutes. Then she handed me the phone back and she goes, yeah, this is going to work. I know it's going to work. Well, I got news for it. It didn't work. That's when
Well,
Sue told me, hey, why don't you become an ambassador anyways?
and do it yourself.
And so I did. And in December of 23, the beginning of December, um, I got an email from Alignable and they turned me down. They said I wasn't active enough.
Oh my
I sent him
goodness.
back a polite email.
Uh-huh.
Said, what do you mean I'm not active enough? I go to this event every week. I go to this every week. I go to this every week. I go to 4 or 5 smart connects every week. I got more than enough connections, more than enough recommendations. What do you mean I'm not active enough? Didn't hear back. I mentioned it to Chuck on his Wednesday show. He
Uh-huh.
goes, what? They can't do that to you. You're one of my local peeps. I know the people that take care of that. 2 weeks later, I got an email from Alignable rescinding their decision and set up an interview. I
Wow.
had a half an hour
Chuck
interview with
knows people.
Erica at the time. And in that half hour, not only did I get everything to become an ambassador, I became an ambassador. We set up my alliance up here and named it all in a half an hour.
Wow. Congrats.
Basically, I was up and running in that half hour.
Beautiful. Well, thank you,
So
Chuck.
I keep telling him, I said, I'm an ambassador thanks to you, Chuck. He keeps going, no, 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 no. You did it on your own. You did it on your own. Yeah. Okay, Chuck. Have it your way.
Well, he
But
helps you move it along.
yeah, so that goes to show you too. It's
Yeah.
like Kurt was saying in the beginning, this podcast,
Mhm.
you never know where somebody's going to take you.
Right.
I wouldn't have this podcast if it wasn't for that client I had down in North Carolina.
Mm,
Um, I have to get back in touch with her to see how her
mhm.
nonprofit is going. I haven't
Right.
talked to her in a while. I do see her occasionally
Yeah.
on the platform. Um, I don't know what she's doing with it but anyways, Kurt, do you have any questions for this lovely person? I know you do. You always do. Oh, he's changed
Absolutely.
his background.
Oh,
Does it look familiar,
Yeah,
John?
it does. My original
So,
background.
yeah. So Therese, we're here at the Revolutionize Your Marketing show. You're bringing out a series of books and with the purpose, all the things. As far as what John does in Mill City Marketing MA, do you know about what he's doing with television?
he briefly shared about it.
Yeah, so John, you got advertising that helps get people out onto Disney Channel and so forth. You want to describe it a little bit more?
Yeah, as of the other day, it's expanded even more. Kurt. I don't think you're aware of my new extension yet. I've got social media covered. I can do ads on. I can do ads on live stream like Disney Plus, Hulu, and all the Paramounts. I can do radio ads all across the country on iHeart Radio Network. And as of Wednesday morning, I hooked up with what's known as Mountain TV. Mountain TV has access to Hulu, TNT, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, HBO Max, ABC, and NHL TV.
Wow. That's nice, a little package you got going on there,
So
John.
now I've got social media, live stream, radio, and shall we say primetime TV?
Yeah.
What do you think of that now, Kurt?
Yeah, it's fantastic. So the question for you, Therese, is to say, I've had it told to me that, when people go out to become known, to perhaps be like an influencer and grab that notoriety, that notability, that prestige and whatever. Um, the person I talked to says that getting onto a film, getting into a movie is pretty much that's what he was saying is at the top of the list. Like if you're in the, credits of a movie, that's pretty darn good. But he says to be in a book, to be an author of a book, that's right behind that. That
Wow,
it's
really?
number
Okay.
number two, yeah. So yeah, he points it out to make sure people are aware of, how significant it is in a marketing plan, if you can do
Very
that.
important.
So
Yeah.
so you want to speak to that a little bit with what you're doing, helping people be an author. Do you have some sort of context for that, kind of how it plays a role in what these authors are otherwise doing?
Well, this is my first time, but the publishers that we're partnered with, Fran and Sue, they have a vision to make sure that the business owners in various market share have time to share their stories because they feel that there's a niche, being a bit entrepreneur. Um, business in America has changed again, right? The last 5 years, there was a change, 2020, but then it shifted again last year. Okay. With the introduction of AI, there's many people unemployed and they're looking for something. And so if we can introduce them to business concepts where that's affordable for them to start, either like in my concept, you don't have to be licensed. We educate people on how to get licensed. We have a platform. Then get the word out, and then maybe we can change middle America because right now, did you know that 1.2 million people were laid off last year
As
and
not
over
over.
100,000 in January of this year? So I personally, I'm meeting people every day from the ages of 18, 19, 20, looking for jobs till in their 70s. And so we need to change, and the only way to change it is to get the word out there that there's businesses for them to look at. And maybe they would align with the story that someone shared.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, they say that about half of businesses fail in 5 years. So if we look at COVID time, 2020, it's 2026 now.
Yeah.
So that means that all those businesses that were being introduced to that were startups at that time, that half of those people who pivoted and opened up their business because
Mhm.
they left a job, like you're talking about layoffs and so forth. Um, so you're coming in and you're helping people, craft their work and
Mhm.
put their expertise into a book format. What do you really like? I get what you're saying that this is an opportunity for them and a boost in what they're doing. But do you have any more to describe in terms of what this is really doing? Like, how does finishing the book, like, what's the aftermath of that? Like, how is that really moving the needle on what they need to do in their career and with their business and so forth? How does this really work?
Well, as far as marketing, I think they've given us a lot of tools on how to market where we are. We can do book signing meetings. We can use the book as our business card. They're not very expensive books, so share them with people to get the word out. Um, in my business that I started 3 years ago, in 2020, they had explosive growth because they went from living rooms and dining room tables to internet, and everything is done on the internet now. To last year, we had explosive growth. 2025, we went from 3,800 agents to 6,600 agents, almost doubled. So, people are looking. And so the only way for people to know that there's something out there is if we're sharing. So like you said, we can be sharing on radio, we can share on TV, we can share in-person meetings, Zoom meetings, and just get the word out. I didn't actually publish the book. I was just part of the book. So I knew what the ladies' missions were to get the word out about businesses, and they thought about what a way to share. They've heard stories before, but when they actually put it together and read the stories, they were moved by the people that actually put their information in this particular book. So
Okay, so at the beginning of the show, when those different book opportunities were cited, those are really opportunities provided by the publisher. Those aren't your concepts for books.
now they're from the
Oh,
publisher. Yes.
gotcha.
Um, they came up with five more book series, which is just the add-on to our book to help people that they've met along the way. in different groups to share their opportunities.
Okay, so this was your first one.
Yeah.
Does that follow that there's going to be a second one, or where are
Definitely.
you?
Yes. Actually, I'm looking at either being the in the woman entrepreneur or the reinvented entrepreneur, because I've actually been not only did I work for corporate America, I'd started several businesses over the years, and some business good do good, some businesses fail, but I'm really feel solid about this one, and I love the fact that I'm helping people. So
Excellent. So, John, are we going to have an update show that when Terisse is in her second book that we'll be able to come back on here and showcase the next book she's in? What do you think, John?
Yeah, we'll do my second book too.
okay, thank you.
Well, well, which book are you're going to be in the Women Entrepreneurs one, John, or where are you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the, yeah, I'm gonna probably get into the reinvented ones. Because like, quick, you know my story. I started off with starting a travel agency and then COVID hit. So
Mhm.
that was a sudden
Oh,
shift of thoughts.
yeah, for sure.
So that's what that's going to be based on. And they're limiting it, limiting those stories coming up in those 5 books to 1,000 words. You can say a lot in 1,000 words.
Yeah.
Um, I don't even know how many words my 2-page one is, but we'll see. I got to get that page opened and saved on my laptop to put in for it. So, but yeah, I'm waiting for my box of books to come in. Hopefully it comes in over the weekend. I can use them for Tuesday. But yeah, it's like in my chapter, they've asked us all for a saying. And like I said, mine is I remember how I put it now. I refer to an old saying. If at first you don't succeed, try again until you do. I added my 3 words at the end. Try and try and try until you do succeed.
Mm.
So that's what I base my story on. Try one thing, doesn't work, move on, try something else. And the other part of my thing is a failure is not a failure. It's a learning curve. It's a lesson learned. When you fail, you learn the lesson of what not to do. The more you know what not to do, the better chance you succeed.
Mhm.
And now, I saw a saying today online. I got to go back and find it. Um, can't remember how it goes. I have to go back and check the messages. But that was another inspiring. I meant to write it down and I didn't. It's one thing with the internet. You pick up all these awesome sayings. Like that question I asked you. Did you hear that, Kurt? That question I put out to it? I'm going to ask you, Kurt, to answer it. If you had to build trust without using testimonials, credentials, or case studies, what proof would you offer instead? I can see the
Demonstration.
smoke coming from his head.
I would go for a demonstration that I would just, offer a free trial, come and experience it, and proof is in the pudding, experience the service and the product and everything that we do, and, make your own determination and continue from there. If it develops to be your
Yeah.
liking, we're off to the races.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Good answer. Wish I can't do that at mine. I don't think.
Yeah. That would work too. Yep.
Very good, Kurt.
That, that's a question I'm going to ask all my participants on my podcast from now on, just so you know. I'm going to put them all on the spot with that one. I'm dying to see what Chuck says next week. But so let's see here. There was something I wanted to ask too when Kurt was talking. Um, so, Grace, how do you see yourself getting the word out about what you do?
I have been very good at doing that since I started networking. I've been booking 5 to 8 appointments every day since January 1st. And I geared up in October to be purposeful, intentional with my connections. And that rolled into January, and I've just continue. I do go to in-person meetups. I do Zoom meetups, and I also just interact with people and invite them to a one-on-one session. And we talk about them a lot and see what I can find out for what they need, how I can help them, how can I support them. And then eventually we built that rapport, that trust factor. And I do share my story, and my story is very trustworthy, believable, and there's a connection. So I hope that my first podcast will be shared greatly and respected from the people, your viewers and my new viewers. And I hope that I can help them navigate the world of life insurance and education of financial literacy, because I think we're lacking that in the United States.
Yeah, well, Kurt will send you out a link to the podcast and you can break it up and put pieces out on your social media platforms and stuff to help get the word out.
Do I have to learn how to break it up?
Just attach the link to the whole thing and let them listen to the whole thing.
Okay.
It'll also be posted on my YouTube page. So if anybody's listening and they want to listen to it again, just go to YouTube and type in Mill City Marketing MA. And most of my podcasts will be there. Especially a lot of there's a few that are really moving podcasts. And I've got a lot of special ones that I'm working on coming up in the future, folks. So keep tabs to the network and the podcast and watch for promotions on special ones coming up. Like
Chuck and
next week I have Chuck Casto coming back on with a friend of his that he bumped into 2 weeks ago that he hasn't seen or talked to in like 20 years, I think it was, maybe 25 years. They're coming together face to face on my podcast. So yeah, we're throwing in a different feature here, Kurt, on you. We'll see
It
how
won't
that
be long
goes.
and you'll have the Jerry Springer twist going on here.
Well, one of the other ones I'm working on that I'm pretty sure we'll be on, I just don't know when. A celebrity from TV. If anybody's ever watched the show Cake Boss,
Oh my God.
I've been in contact with his people. I met him in person February 28th. He was up at the city of Lowell, which was starting their bicentennial year, and he made the birthday cake for the city.
Oh, wow.
I had the opportunity to talk to him not once, but 3 times. One of the conversations, I asked him, I told him and I think he's an inspiration to small businesses.
Mhm.
And I mean, to take a local neighborhood bakery, family owned, and turn it into a TV show. And now he's on A&E with it.
Yeah.
It's known on A&E now as Cake Dynasty.
Yep. He's good.
Um, I've been in touch with his people and I'm working on getting them in. He seemed quite happy about being asked to come on the podcast. So we'll see what happens. And I got a few others I've got messages out to. And there's one kid I think you'll be very surprised if I can get her on. And not only is she famous, but her husband is too. Her husband's very famous in music industry. He's very famous as a social media influencer, among other stuff that I won't mention
Hmm.
at this time. Um, and there's a couple of others well known on the internet that I'm working on. So yeah, besides people from Alignable, other local people, yeah, expanding it.
Yeah.
Your platform's getting known, Kurt. Who knows? You may have a cake show before you know it. Yeah. So, um, pretty much running out of questions here, Kurt. Do you have anything else?
Well, I mean, I guess I want to go back to where I was going before,
Mhm.
Therese. You know, I guess one question I ask you, Therese, is if our viewers want one of these books, how do they get the book?
They can go to Amazon.com and I mean, I have links, but I can't get it through the computer here, right? So they would go to Amazon.com, type in purpose, sorry, built with purpose,
Purpose.
and look for Sue Brook and Fran Jesse, and they'll find the 42 author book. They can download the link from the Kindle app, or actually get a paperback book for pretty economically priced.
Very good, very good. So with what you're doing in the world of finances and so forth,
Hmm.
describe a little bit more. This book is out there. People are gobbling up the book, reading the stories from all the authors, and for your piece, for you, what is the design of this? Having this out there, having the book distributed, and this is part of your regime and part of,
Hmm.
what you all have to offer. Like, what really is the role of this book? What is it really doing for you, in this, impact you want to make for homes and, so forth?
Well, I think each of us put our websites on there. It's kind of like a business card. So it's to encourage them that maybe they want to check something out. They have an opportunity. I put in there what I do as a entrepreneur with the products, and as building leaders to build businesses. And if that piques their curiosity, they can go to my website uh, and contact me. So I guess the main goal is to share that you can build a business with purpose, and one my purpose might fit some people, and John's purpose might fit others. So
So what are you envisioning actually happens? Somebody's reading your story.
mhm.
Like, how is this designed?
It's
You're delivering the
transition.
story.
Um, I vision that if it piqued their curiosity, that I wonder if I could do that. I align with the product. I should reach out and talk to her.
And this past week, I was in conversation where the person pointed out that, sometimes a person might tell you, I don't feel ready,
Hmm.
and apparently there's somebody who created a saying that, being ready is not an emotion, it's a decision,
True.
right?
It is.
So,
And we get that all the
that
time, but we always follow up with those. If we have the opportunity to get their contact information, they could be not ready today, but they could be ready next month, next year, and just keep following up until they say, don't call me anymore.
So, Therese, what is a home run with your purpose? If you're living your dream and this purpose opens up with floodgates, what is the grand scale of what you think is possible here for you and
Um,
what you're doing for other people?
that I will one day have business opportunities in many states and cities across the nation where they're sharing living life benefits with their communities, with their families, and getting them protected correctly. Something where they have a policy if they die too soon. They have a live too long. If you outlive Social Security and need excess money, you could build a retirement plan, and you have living benefits if you got sick first. And that's my dream to support people across the nation, all of middle America. I've seen too many people, especially women, homeless. That's not right. I mean, their spouse passes away and now they have to leave their home because they can't afford the rent. That's not right. And in most foreclosures, it's a sickness. They're one sickness away from foreclosure. That's sad too. And I mean, that could have been me. Luckily, I was resourceful, but I would have loved to have been able to save people's lives because they have an insurance policy that gives them the opportunity to either leave the country and get treatment, go somewhere else and get treatment. They can pay their mortgage without worry, and they lost their job because they're sick, and that is a big stressor. People sometimes don't get healthy because they're so stressed of the financial burdens.
Oh, wow. We've really come to a good place in this conversation because, this is the point where I feel like once in a while we tiptoe into the big wow, bang, boom, pow, the big purpose of this conversation. Because to me, as I'm listening to you now at this point in the conversation, I'm really feeling that you just illustrated, you exemplified, you portray the power of one. You
You,
being the one and the waves that this creates, that really you're the leader of a movement in your own right.
thank you.
And so that's what the book is to me. It's a vehicle that you're putting that invite out there. Join
Mhm.
the movement. What do you think about that?
You're right. Thank you. Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
So John, we're kind of coming up to the final minutes of the hour. Once in a while, Therese, he kind of goes into encore fashion, so I never know what this guy's going to do. He keeps me on the edge of my seat, what's John going to do next? So John, make the call. It's your show, bro. What's up next?
Um, how, how, how much deeper can we bring this conversation?
Go for it, John. Come
Um,
on. Get your shovel out. Let's go.
well, where do we go from here? Um,
Um,
well, with this being your first podcast, Therese, how
mhm.
does it feel?
It feels amazing. It took a little bit to get to the right question to get my explosive personality to share, but I appreciate that. Um, I'm really excited to see what happens in the near future and with the book launch and my first podcast, hopefully my first of many. And I just thank you both gentlemen for having me as a guest.
Well, thank you for coming on. Um, I did open it up to all the authors of the book.
Mhm.
Um, you happen to be the first one. I did ask Sue and Jesse, Fran,
Fran.
Sue and Fran to be the first one, since they're the two to put the book together.
They're
But I haven't
traveling.
heard back from them. Uh,
Sue's in California traveling with Fran. Well, Fran lives up here and near me, about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes away. And they've been
mm,
traveling. They're over in San Diego today. And then Sue goes home on Saturday or Sunday. So
ah, oh yeah,
maybe next week, or the one you got Chuck next week, maybe the week after. So I'm sure they'll hop on.
yeah, oh yeah. I'm sure they will. She actually mentioned it. They started a new program
Yes,
Wednesday. It's called um, BWP TV.
right.
It's kind of a remake of what they used to do on Alignable before, where they spotlight different entrepreneurs from
Right.
Alignable.
Hmm.
Um, and they are spotlighting two authors every week on
Hmm.
Wednesdays. Uh, Again, I have to say, live at 5 Eastern.
Hmm. They also started a group on Alignable for all the authors to be on in one little group.
Yeah, they did. Um, so I happen to be sitting on the side of that because they only highlight the four, Kurt, Sue, and the two guests. And anybody else who joins in is on the sidelines.
Mhm.
I kind of figured Chuck was going to bring me up somewhere in the conversation, like he always does. um, I never expected Sue to bring me up in that conversation Wednesday afternoon. Even to the fact of mentioning that I was opening up my podcast to all the authors. Uh, that was a shock to me. I'm not even involved in the show, and they're
Yeah.
talking about me. I said, all right,
Yes.
hey, I'll take the free publicity.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, they're going to start a YouTube channel called BWP TV, where
Mm,
they're going to
okay.
put all their broadcasts on.
Fantastic.
Their 1 hour shows with everybody that's interviewed. So yeah, Terese plan on getting scheduled on that because they're scheduling all the authors.
Yeah, they were hoping to have the schedule done by the end of this weekend to let everybody know when they were going to be on. So that we should be getting an email soon.
Great.
Um, I didn't know how this worked. I really honestly thought it was going to be a short, sweet meeting, and I actually booked a meeting at the top of the hour. And she's waiting for me
Okay.
in my Zoom.
All right. We will
We're,
let you
we're all
go.
good.
Okay.
How can people get a hold of you again? One more time.
TeresseWalker.com or my phone. Do I give them my number or just do the TeresseWalker.com?
That's up to you if you want to give your phone number up.
310-426-8459. I'm in California.
All right.
Do they need my spelling or will you put that in there somehow?
I think Kurt will put it in on the recording. Right, Kurt?
Yep. We
All
got you
right,
covered. So
perfect.
yeah, if you want to switch over for your guests, feel free. I know you're running late. Thanks for being
All
here,
right.
Therese.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Kurt. Thanks,
Therese.
John. It was a great afternoon.
All right.
Bye.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So with that, folks, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Again, go to YouTube, type in Mill City Marketing MA, and you can view some of my previous podcasts as well as my future ones. And if you do, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to get a hold of me, you can reach me by my email, millcitymarketingma@gmail.com, or visit my website. It's millcitybusinesshelp.com with one S at the end of business. How to make it unique accidentally. Or if you're on Alignable, you can look me up on Alignable. Just type in my name. Um, if you're not on Alignable and you have a business, you should be on Alignable. There's 10 million businesses across the US and Canada that you can connect with. Um, and again, for the book, you can, if you are on Alignable, you can join the group. Just go to groups and look up Business with a Purpose. That's the name of the group on Alignable. Otherwise, if you want to go to the website, it's builtwithpurpose.org. Um, and there you can find the tab for the upcoming books that they have. If you're interested in becoming a collaborative author, it's well worth it. Let me tell you. I'm excited. Can you tell? All right, that does it for me, Kurt.
All right, sounds good, John. So again, I'm Kurt Roscoe with World Ability Podcast Network. We're pleased, proud, and privileged to have these shows every week with the live at five format here with John and hosting Revolutionize Your Marketing with all these great guests. So look forward to seeing you next Friday, April 10th, right back here on the Mill City Marketing